Why do people often fail to reciprocate the affection and support you, as the chosen one, so freely give? In the realm of meaningful relationships, the expectation of mutual support and affection forms the cornerstone of a profound bond. Yet this ideal reciprocity is frequently unmet, not out of neglect, but due to hidden internal barriers that they grapple with. The first reason they often fail to reciprocate the affection and support you, rightly deserved, stems from a deep-seated deficit in self-love and personal fulfillment. When they undervalue themselves, the lens through which they view their worth becomes distorted, clouding their perception of what they can meaningfully contribute to your life. Think that you are the sun in their sky, a source of light and warmth, yet they perceive themselves as mere shadows, unworthy of shining alongside you. This skewed self-perception leads them to question their value relentlessly, inhibiting their ability to reciprocate love. For instance, when you extend a gesture of kindness or support, they might shrink away, not out of ungratefulness, but from a belief that they have little to offer in return that could match your generosity. This lack of self-love often masks a deeper issue of personal fulfillment. They might handle their daily lives feeling like an actor on a stage, performing roles that bring no joy or fulfillment. In such a state, their emotional reserves are depleted, leaving little capacity to engage fully with others, especially those who, like you, require a depth of connection that transcends superficial interactions. For someone grappling with such inner voids, every attempt at connection you make can feel overwhelming to them, not because they lack the desire to reciprocate, but because they feel they are perpetually operating from a deficit. They see their emotional offering as insufficient, akin to bringing a candle to illuminate a room already bathed in sunlight. This profound insecurity about their emotional worth leads them to retreat instead of reaching out, to withhold instead of welcoming. In scenarios where emotional exchange is crucial, their inability to express or even acknowledge their own needs can create a barrier that prevents the nurturing of a reciprocal relationship. If you share your victories and struggles, hoping for an echo of enthusiasm or empathy, you might instead encounter a wall of silence or perfunctory responses, not because they do not care, but because they feel ill-equipped to participate meaningfully in the exchange. To bridge this gap, it is essential for them to start on a journey of self-discovery and acceptance, and to find avenues that foster personal joy and self-approval. As a chosen one, your role can be supportive, but remember, the journey is theirs to undertake. Encouraging them to seek activities that affirm their value, or to pursue paths that lead to personal growth, can slowly help replenish their self-esteem. Only when they begin to see themselves as worthy and complete can they truly engage in a relationship with you that is defined by mutual support and affection. Thus, understanding and addressing the root causes of their deficits in self-love is crucial for transforming the dynamics of your relationship into one that flourishes on equal emotional ground. The second reason they might struggle to reciprocate the support and affection you offer as a chosen one stems from their ongoing personal turmoil and unresolved internal conflicts. When they are besieged by internal storms, how can they possibly offer you the sanctuary of stability and understanding you deserve? Picture them as a vessel in the midst of a tempestuous sea. Waves of past grievances, unresolved emotional conflicts, and deep-seated fears crash against their hull, threatening to capsize their ability to tread the calm waters of a stable relationship. Their internal discord manifests externally, creating ripples that disturb the tranquil connection you seek. For instance, if they harbor unresolved anger or past trauma, these emotions can erupt unpredictably, coloring their interactions with you with undue intensity or withdrawal without a clear cause. This lack of internal peace often means they cannot be fully present with you. Even when physically close, their minds may wander to dark and unsettled places, leaving them feeling alone in what should be a shared emotional space. When you reach out for comfort or seek their guidance, you might find them distant or distracted, not out of indifference, but because they are lost within their own inner conflicts. Their unresolved issues can lead to a pattern of emotional instability that makes the relationship feel like a roller coaster. One moment, they might be loving and attentive, while the next, they become cold and detached. This inconsistency is not a reflection of their feelings towards you, but a sign of their internal struggle to maintain emotional equilibrium. For example, they might react disproportionately to minor disagreements or comments, not because the issues at hand are significant, but because these trigger deeper, more painful issues that they have yet to resolve. To foster stability in your relationship, it is essential for them to address these internal conflicts. This might involve seeking therapy, engaging in honest self-reflection, or practicing mindfulness to better understand and manage their emotions. As they begin to heal and find peace within themselves, their ability to engage in a stable, supportive relationship with you will naturally improve. The third reason they may fail to remain steadfast and loyal to you, the chosen one, lies deeply rooted in self-betrayal and a consequent erosion of their own values. When they cannot be true to themselves, aligning their actions with their core beliefs becomes a battlefield where authenticity is often the casualty. This dissonance not only diminishes their integrity, but also impacts their ability to uphold commitments in relationships, especially with those they profess to hold dear. Consider them as a mariner traveling through the stars, only to find that the stars have shifted. So too are their moral compasses misaligned when they betray their own principles. Whether it's succumbing to pressures that lead them to act against their beliefs, or wearing masks to fit into roles they deem acceptable, each act of self-betrayal chips away at the foundation of their self-esteem and trustworthiness. For instance, if they compromise their values to achieve professional advancement or social standing, they might justify small lies or omissions that seem harmless at first. However, these minor breaches can accumulate, forming a habit of dishonesty and inconsistency. This erosion of authenticity can manifest starkly in their relationships. If they cannot remain true to themselves, how can they be expected to be true to you? Their promises may become unreliable, not out of malice, but as a result of the inner conflict that rages within them. For example, they might pledge to support your endeavors or stand by you in challenging times, yet when faced with a choice that pits their comfort or gain against these commitments, they may falter, choosing the easier path over the righteous one. The lack of self-loyalty breeds a form of emotional instability that makes their relationships precarious. One day, they may fully engage with you, driven by a momentary alignment with their deeper selves. On another, they may withdraw, swept away by inner turmoil or guilt over their inauthenticity. This whiplash can leave you bewildered and destabilized, feeling as if you are interacting with a stranger rather than the person you chose to trust and rely upon. To mend the rift caused by self-betrayal, it is crucial for them to walk on a path of self-reconciliation. This involves deep self-reflection, perhaps guided by counseling or therapeutic practices, to rediscover and reaffirm their core values. As they learn to align their actions with these rediscovered principles, the integrity and loyalty they can offer you will gradually be restored. As a chosen one, your role in this transformative journey is to encourage and inspire their authenticity with understanding and patience. Foster an environment where they feel safe to express their true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. By supporting their quest to live authentically, you not only aid in healing their inner divisions, but also reinforce the bonds of trust and loyalty that form the bedrock of your shared connection. The fourth reason they may falter in sustaining honesty with you, the chosen one, stems from a deep-seated deceit towards themselves. When they engage in self-deception, distorting their realities and desires, it inevitably bleeds into their relationships, clouding them with shadows of dishonesty. Like a mirror fogged by breath, their ability to reflect truth becomes obscured, not just internally, but in the connections they cherish most. Envision them as architects, constructing their self-image and reality with bricks, not of truth, but of illusion. They may deny their weaknesses, inflate their successes, or hide their true feelings. all to maintain a facade they believe acceptable. However, these distortions do not remain confined to their psyche, but spill over into their interactions with you. For example, if they habitually minimize their struggles to maintain an image of strength, they may also withhold these truths from you, depriving the relationship of depth and sincerity. This habitual dishonesty erodes the foundation of trust that relationships require to thrive. If they cannot be honest with themselves about their fears, desires, or failures, how can they possibly share these truths with you? Their interactions may become a performance where genuine connection should be. You might find yourself continually guessing at their true thoughts and feelings, unable to reach the heart of what they truly think or feel. Moreover, this self-deceit does not only impact emotional exchanges, but also decision-making processes within the relationship. They may agree to commitments they resent or fail to express dissent when it matters, all to maintain the illusion of harmony. Over time, these unresolved, unexpressed truths accumulate, building pressure that can fracture even the strongest bonds. For those entangled in such self-deception, breaking free requires a confrontation with their innermost truths. This process involves stripping away the layers of lies and justifications to reveal the raw and real self underneath. It's a journey that may necessitate professional help, such as therapy or counseling, to navigate effectively. The fifth reason why they may fail to reciprocate your deep emotional engagement lies in their fear of vulnerability and the resulting emotional blockages. This trepidation at exposing their true selves, warts and all, erects invisible walls around their hearts, preventing the very essence of connection that you, as a chosen one, seek to nurture. Consider the armor they don, forged not from steel, but from past pains, disappointments, and the primal fear of being deeply known and possibly rejected. This armor, while protective, also isolates them from the profound intimacy of true emotional exchange. For instance, when confronted with a situation that requires emotional openness, such as sharing personal fears or unmet needs, they might retreat behind a facade of indifference or bravado. To you, it appears as though they are disinterested or uncaring, when in reality, they are hiding a tumult of vulnerability they fear could drown them if exposed. This reluctance to be vulnerable can lead to significant emotional dissonance within the relationship. You might extend your heart, sharing your deepest thoughts and inviting them into your inner world, only to be met with superficial responses or evasive maneuvers. Over time, this one-sided emotional labor takes its toll, leaving you feeling lonely and undervalued, even in their presence. The impact of their emotional blockages extends beyond individual moments of failed connection. It can stymie the growth of the relationship itself, preventing it from reaching the depths of trust and mutual understanding that define the most fulfilling bonds. Their inability to open up not only starves the relationship of necessary nurturance, but also deprives both of you of the healing and growth that come from genuine emotional sharing. To dismantle these barriers, they must first recognize and confront their fear of vulnerability. This process often requires introspection, perhaps guided by therapeutic interventions, where they can safely explore and understand the origins of their fears. Encouraging them to take small steps towards openness and rewarding these efforts with empathy and support can gradually help them lower their defenses. The sixth reason they might falter in meeting your expectations is the relentless assault of external pressures and distractions that besiege their daily lives. In a world where the demands of society and the cacophony of continuous engagement pull at them from every direction, it becomes a formidable task to carve out the mental and emotional space necessary to attend to the deeper needs of their relationships with you. Envision the scene. They are besieged by a barrage of obligations, professional deadlines that stretch into the late hours, social media notifications that buzz incessantly, societal expectations to uphold appearances of a perfect life, and perhaps the weighty demands of parenting or caring for aging relatives. Each of these elements does not just demand their time, but also saps their energy and diverts their attention from the quiet, intimate moments where meaningful exchanges with you should flourish. After a day overwhelmed by corporate battles or the relentless pace of modern parenting, they return to you not replenished, but drained. Their capacities to listen deeply or respond sensitively to your needs diminished. Here lies the tragic irony. The very activities and roles that society imposes upon them, ostensibly to secure their success and happiness, are the same that hollow out the time and energy they would otherwise invest in nourishing the relationship with you. This deluge of distractions does more than just fatigue them. It subtly reprograms their priorities, often placing the immediate and urgent over the truly important. As a result, the critical needs of your relationship, the need for vulnerability, for shared dreams and fears, for the simple act of being present with one another, become casualties of a lifestyle dictated by external demands. To combat these forces, they must make a conscious, deliberate decision to shield your relationship from the invasive noises of the world. This might involve setting strict boundaries around work and leisure, dedicating specific times where they are fully present with you, or even adjusting lifestyle choices to reduce the chaos that infiltrates your shared spaces. It requires a recognition that the most valuable asset they can offer is not their success or social standing, but their undivided attention and presence. By addressing these external pressures and recalibrating their priorities, they not only protect the sanctity of your relationship, but also rediscover the joy and fulfillment that comes from truly being present with another. This shift not only deepens your bond, but also serves as a profound counterbalance to the frenetic pace of modern life, grounding both of you in what is genuinely significant. The seventh reason they may struggle to meet your needs hinges on their lack of emotional intelligence. This deficiency not only shadows their ability to perceive and understand emotions, but also stifles their capability to respond aptly to the emotional cues that are the lifeblood of deep, empathetic connections. Consider exploring a landscape shrouded in fog, where every sound and shape is muffled and obscured. Similarly, they move through their interactions with you, clouded by an inability to clearly discern and interpret the subtle emotional signals that should guide their responses. When you share your triumphs, they might miss the undertones of your pride and offer lukewarm congratulations that feel hollow. Or when you express your fears, they might overlook the vulnerability in your voice, responding with advice when all you sought was empathy. This lack of emotional intelligence manifests not just in misread cues, but in the texture of your daily interactions. Suppose you are upset about a setback at work. Instead of recognizing your need for reassurance, they might counter with distraction, thinking it helpful, not realizing that you need to dwell and process, not escape. Their responses, misguided by their misinterpretations, can leave you feeling profoundly alone and misunderstood, standing beside them yet feeling worlds apart. This emotional disconnect can lead to a cascade of relationship issues. Without a keen emotional acuity, they might fail to recognize not just your needs, but also the moments when their own emotions are driving conflicts or creating distance between you. For instance, their frustration from a bad day might spill over into an evening meant for relaxation and connection with you, unwittingly hurting you with their unintended sharpness. To bridge this gap in emotional intelligence, it is essential for them to engage in self-reflection and, possibly, formal learning through resources or counseling that can enhance their emotional skills. They need to learn the art of empathy, the skill of active listening, and the practice of emotional regulation, all of which are fundamental for nurturing a resilient and responsive relationship with you. You can aid in this educational journey by gently pointing out when miscommunications occur and explaining what you were feeling and needing at the moment. This not only helps them learn in real time, but also deepens your mutual understanding, turning each instance of misinterpretation into a stepping stone towards greater intimacy. Understanding these intricate dynamics is crucial, not only for nurturing the empathy and patience required to support them through these challenges, but also for fostering your growth alongside theirs. As they strive to overcome these hurdles, the encouragement to pursue therapy, engage in self-reflection, and adopt mindfulness can transform barriers into bridges, reconnecting the emotional dots that seemed lost. As we conclude, I call upon you to extend your hand, not in judgment but in support, to those who struggle with these internal battles. Share your stories of overcoming similar challenges or how you've supported someone in their journey. Let your experiences be a beacon for others, illuminating the path toward deeper understanding and mutual growth in relationships. Encourage them to seek understanding and possibly therapy, not as a sign of weakness but as a brave step toward emotional maturity and relational fulfillment. Together, through compassion and shared wisdom, you can transform these personal trials into triumphs of human connection and understanding. Embrace this call to action with the courage to face these hidden adversaries, the commitment to personal and relational development, and the compassion to assist those who walk alongside you.